through how to use the Windows master key. So currently at my lock screen now, if I type a random code in, let's say 4 zeros, it will tell me the pin is incorrect. So obviously I need the correct pin to get into my account. So this stick is going to get us through into the account. The best thing to do is first of all just plug the stick in. You can just plug it into a normal USB port. I've just got an extender on this one. Just plug it into the USB port. The next thing to do is turn off the Wi-Fi. So you can do this from the bottom corner here. Click on the symbol that says internet. I'm not connected to the internet myself, but if I was, I'll just untick the one that says connect automatically and disconnect, or I can just put it into flight mode, which will turn off all internet connections. The next thing to do is just try restarting the PC to see if it will boot up. Just restart the PC, see if it will boot up with the Conboot software. So if it does work, what's going to happen is it's going to bring up a screen saying Conboot on there. If it doesn't, then what's going to happen is it will just load up into Windows, as it probably will do now. So if it does load up with the Conboot software, then you can skip the next bit and just go on to the bit that shows you how to log in. But if it doesn't, then you'll have to do some extra steps. So you see, it didn't work on this, it just loaded up Windows. I didn't get a screen in between, so I need to do some extra steps. So if I just, what I need to do is open the BIOS, change some settings, and hopefully we'll be able to get it to work then. So see the power button here, just click on the power button. And this time, before we press the restart, what we're going to do is on the keyboard, just hold either of the shift keys down. So press and hold the shift key, keep it held, press restart, and then keep it held down. This time Windows won't restart. What we will get instead is the BIOS settings. Okay, at that point you can let go of the shift key. So if we go now where it says troubleshoot, click on that. Then if you go to advanced options and UEFI firmware settings, you click on this, and then you'll be brought up with a little blue box that says restart. So all you gotta do is click on the restart button. Okay, you might get a slightly different screen to me, but it's asking me how do I want to start a computer, and it's the BIOS setup. And for me, it's F10, but it could be different on your PC. So F10. And now, unfortunately, not everyone's computer is laid out the same as this. So I will go through how mine is laid out, but it might be slightly differently. So for me, I'm going to security at the top here. I'm scrolling down to where it says secure boot confirmation. So if I click on that, and it's giving me a warning saying I shouldn't mess with this. I'm going to accept that by pressing F10. Like I say, you'll have to follow whatever keys it says on yours. And what I'm going to do is disable secure boots and enable legacy support. You may not have that option on there, but if you do, you need to disable secure boot and enable legacy support. And press F10 to accept, so make sure you save the changes. And what we need to do now, under storage, I need to change the boot order. So basically, when the computer starts up, it's the order that it checks first. So normally it's set to just load to Windows. What I want to do is get it to check to see if there's a USB stick inserted first, and if there is, try and load off that. You don't necessarily have to change these settings back afterwards. It just means if you have got a USB in the computer, sometimes it won't start until you take it back out again. All we're doing is changing the order that it starts upon. So at the moment we've got Windows at the top. What I want to do is put USB hard drive to the top. So I press enter and move it up. I've also got USB floppy drive. I'm going to put that to the top as well. You don't have to. So anything USB, I've moved to the top. That's legacy. Okay. So now once you've done that, press F10 to accept. Go to File and make sure you save and exit. Save changes, yes. So let's turn the computer off. It will restart it now. It's saying change has been made, don't want to accept this. It's asking me, once again, you might not get this at all. It's asking me to type a code in to make sure I accept the new changes. It's 0468, but it will be different each time. So press enter. Okay, so now it's actually loaded up with the Conboot software. So this is what you're going to get, Conboot Loader. And it's asking me what do I want to do. So the options should be the same for you, but it's asking use Conboot for Windows, which is what I want. So I'm going to press 0. You might find that your number keypad doesn't work and you have to use the keys on the top line instead. So press number 0. It's now saying please pick your option, use default mode recommended or use Windows 10 online accounts. If you've got anything before Windows 10, you can just use the default one anyway, I have to think. With Windows 10 you've got online accounts, so basically it's a Microsoft online account, so if you change your password on one computer it will change it on all of them automatically. Most people have got Windows 10 these days. It says it's for commercial license only. It is a commercial license that you'll have, so it will work for you. So it probably will be number 1 that you need to press for the online account. So number 1. Now it says warning, disable internet access on the machine before booting Windows. Now if you follow the instructions that I showed you, you would have already turned off the internet at the start. If you haven't, what you probably need to do is carry on with the boot, and when you go into Windows, you need to then, when you go into the Windows load up screen, the login screen, you can then turn off the internet and then you can reboot again and then back on this screen. If you don't do that, it just won't work anyway. It won't cause any damage, it just won't work. The other thing it says is please wait up to 5 minutes after Windows login screen arrives. So what it means is as soon as you get to the login screen, you won't be able to get straight to the PC. So you won't be able to log into the PC straight away unless you do have the password. What you have to do is wait for another screen to load up before you can do it. So it says everything seems to be okay, please press enter. The other thing you can do, by the way, if you didn't disconnect the internet from the computer, you can always unplug your router at this point and that will do the same thing. So press any key and then we just got to wait a few minutes for it to start up. Depending on how fast your computer is will depend on how fast this process is. It normally takes about 30 seconds to get past this screen on this computer. Okay, so once it's bypassed that screen, you're going to load into Windows as normal and it will take you to the login screen. Now don't attempt to log in at this point because it won't work. So unless you do know the code, which would be pointless if you did, you won't be able to log in. If you put the wrong code in too many times, it will lock you out as normal. So just leave the computer at this point. As it says, it does take about 5 minutes before it will load up the Conboot software, and you'll know when it does because it will bring a pop-up on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here, wait for that to happen, and show you what it looks like once it's finished. Okay, so as you see, you'll get these pop-up boxes. So it's telling you the internet's not connected. If it is, it will obviously say that it is connected. And if it is connected, you will need to switch it off and restart again. It's also saying that if you haven't got a commercial license, which you will do, then it won't be able to log you in if it's an online account. And it'll offer to create another account for you called Conboot. It's asking if you wanted to do this. It's best to put no, because if it creates another account called Conboot, the computer might wonder why another account's been added, and you don't really need that. So just press no. And at that point, you can basically put any password in. So I'm going to put 4 zeros in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will log me in. So that's it. That's all you need to do to use the password breaker. If you do get stuck, you can call our technical support line during office hours.